Here are the best possible ways to network with high caliber people and avoid mistakes that will absolutely kill your results. My name is Karina. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about money, women, and power. And before we get into these very helpful tips, I want to let you know about becoming a $1 million woman. I'm going to be doing a live event. It's going to be online discussing just that. They're essentially secrets that nobody talks about on how to become a high caliber woman like an absolute pro. And you can register at intoamilliolady.com/live. The price right now is on early bird sale, so I would not miss out because each week the prices will go up, but I'm very, very excited to host this event and excited for you all to become the best version of yourself. So I'm going to begin with tip number 5, and that tip is actually arriving really early to the event. Now, this sounds a little bit counterintuitive because people say that showing up late is more fashionable, the expression fashionably late. However, from personal experience, I can honestly tell you that arriving early to an event will give you a lot of opportunity and a lot of power, and here is why. So you don't want to be too early and obviously arrive like 30 minutes or an hour before, but since most people truly are fashionably late, anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour depending on the event, if you come even maybe 5 or 10 minutes earlier, kind of begin to check in, or even on time, the thing is you will be one of the first people there, and that might be a little awkward at first. It was for me, but if you don't feel awkward, it will not appear that you're feeling awkward, right? So just present yourself. I'm confidently here. I was invited. I'm here. It doesn't matter that you're on time or slightly early. But the thing is, you will be able to introduce yourself to pretty much any new person coming in. Every person that's coming in also feels awkward because there's very few people in the room and you're there. So you have an opportunity to talk to essentially most of the people that also show up early or on time or even a little bit late. And then little groups will begin to form. So you will be there and you will be able to read the room. So you will really know who belongs with who, how the networking is going, and that's really going to work towards your advantage because you will be able to direct yourself in the group that you will benefit most from. Maybe it's a business colleague you want to meet, any of the choices, but you will have more control because you will know most of the people, and then you won't be stumbling in shy and feeling awkward. So that's the 5th tip, okay? The 4th tip is, this one's actually really funny, and that is, don't treat this like a party, even if it is a party, okay? It's not a party, even if it is a party. I'm gonna say that again. And what I mean by that is you want to have full control of yourself and present yourself as a respectful, high caliber woman. I have seen this disastrous story play out, is that there is alcohol involved, there's drinks involved, and people lose a little bit of control, right? When there are drinks involved, they become a little bit more loose, a little bit more cheery, giddy, right? And that's all fun and games when you're with your circle of friends or relatives or partner, whatever it may be. But you are in a professional environment and your goal is to network and to build connections. And another thing is your attire. Think of this again as a business opportunity, not necessarily of how do I dress if I were going out with friends. And sadly, I have seen this too. And it really makes me think, right? You're in a professional environment, potentially with maybe future business partners or collab opportunities, or you're just trying to evolve in your path in your career or meet some people that can give you advice maybe, and you're dressed like you're going to a club. Don't come in dresses that are short, don't come with midriff showing, really open exposed back or a lot of cleavage, because it looks very unprofessional, even if it is a party or event. You're building your Rolodex of people and you don't want to be perceived as a party girl. Tip number 3 is in conversation. Contribute intellectually when you can. There's 2 opposite sides of the spectrum of this, and I'll get into them in a second, but essentially talk less, listen more is the best approach here. And you don't want to be that person who is extremely quiet, looking like you have essentially nothing to contribute to the conversation, because that's when it becomes awkward and people don't take you seriously. You also don't want to be a blabbermouth and kind of hogging the conversation, especially when it's not your level of expertise. So let the experts do the talking in their field. of expertness, right? And when that happens, they can contribute properly to what they have to share, and when it's your time, you will be able to contribute what you need to do. And then there will be a balance of the conversation. Well, actually, again, I'm saying this from personal experience. I was at a very intimate networking event, and there was one person there that just, at first you may think he might be smart because I just arrived and he was doing a lot of the talking, and he sounded like he knew what he was talking about, but he started contributing to the conversation on every single topic. And on the second topic, you could pretty much tell that he was just trying to seek that attention, trying to seek that validation. And I could tell people's vibe towards him wasn't very positive. They didn't really want to linger and talk to him after, and he was just kind of butting into all the conversation. So that's what you want to avoid. Number 2 is your introduction. Have a proper introduction. A lot of people don't understand the power of mystique and the power of causing interest in others. You want to have a hook to yourself. You are a walking billboard, a walking advertisement for yourself. The way you act, your mannerisms, all of that will show. And you want to give the best impression. And one of them, you will obviously have a proper introduction about yourself. So if you are in a rough area of your life, perhaps unemployed or struggling financially or struggling in any other ways, that's not how you want to introduce yourself. And sadly, that's how people do. If they say, what do you do for a living, or what are your hobbies, they might not have any, and they blatantly say, I don't have any hobbies, I don't have any interests, I'm unemployed. Maybe you are starting on a hobby and you're even in the introductory stages. Say you're maybe learning to play the guitar, or you are picking up art. Say I am learning this type of art, or I'm studying this type of philosophy. It just makes you sound more interesting. Of course, make sure that you know something about the topics, that you can start a conversation, but focus on your positive aspects of yourself when you are making that introduction, because you want to hook people in to really say, okay, you're worth our time to talk to. You're not just a boring person that's kind of floating around, right? And the number 1 tip at the very, very end, I really, really love this one. When you leave and kind of your mannerisms in the actual conversation. So you don't want to be the awkward person. You don't want to be the awkward person that's interrupting private conversations. Sometimes conversations look private, or they appear to be going in a private direction. So you don't want to be standing there maybe it's 2 people are discussing a topic and you're just kind of the third person that was caught up in the conversation. If the conversation is going to a private area where clearly you are not part of it, then excuse yourself, say it was nice talking to you, and leave the conversation. Similarly, if you are in a big group and conversing and the conversation is perhaps dimming out, you want to be one of the first people to excuse yourself and to leave. And you're not just awkwardly standing there when everyone keeps leaving and then you look all awkward and you don't know where to go. And that goes the same for the end of the event. You don't want to look desperate, like you're just standing there waiting for attention and waiting to talk to as many people as possible. When the event is rolling out to an end, I would recommend that you're actually one of the first ones to leave. The reason for this is that it begins to look a little bit desperate if everybody is leaving and you're still kind of like lingering, hoping to make a connection, hoping to network with somebody. It doesn't put you in the best light. So leaving early is one of the best tips I could give you. Arrive early and leave early. So that's going to be it for my networking tips today. Of course, this is just scraping on the surface of how many tips there are, and I will be discussing more of these in my live online event. I'm very, very, very excited for it. Go to intoamililady.com/live to register. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and of course, I will see you in the next one.